Hey guys, how's it going? Kulprit here, and I'm going to bring you my initial very first impressions of the new Close Quarters DLC. This is my very first full match I played, jumped in with a bunch of guys. This is on my server. Basically went on, it was empty, just walked around trying to familiarize myself, and it populated pretty quickly, and you'll see a couple familiar faces. This was the first full match. You see me, I'm with my trusty M16, my standard kit. This way that's constant, and everything else is different, and as I get used to the environment and things like that, I will make adjustments to my personal kit. You'll see me, I'll probably do it in the game here. I'm all over the place right now. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. Here are my impressions. Obviously, it's very obvious. It's very fast-paced, and which I like. It is very, very much like COD domination. It's just minus the kill streaks. You know, I never got killed by a chopper. I never got killed by a guy sliding on his ass with a pistol. Those types of things. I like that. But I do want to say, I don't think running around and rushing is the right way to play this game at all. I think you should move methodically, move with some pace, but, you know, don't be rushing around. Don't run corners. You see me do it here. You're going to die. You're always going to be running into people. Chances are you're not going to be expecting when you run into people. So you want to be always prepared. And just running, everybody knows that you're not. You're going to be caught with your pants down. Always be pushing. Don't be rushing. All right, everybody asks, you know, what guns do you want to use? And that's kind of what I'm trying to figure out right now myself. Obviously, I don't see a lot of use for the engineer, even though I'm dying to use the MTAR. I just feel like you're kind of tying one hand behind your back. DICE kind of lied to us again. The destruction is not as big as they said it was going to be, just like they did with the original Battlefield, just like they said with B2K. The destruction is very lackluster. You know, it's pretty, you know, drywall chips off and things like that, but you're not blowing holes in walls like they showed us in all these videos. Again, they basically misled us. So I don't see a huge use for RPGs, especially since they got nerfed against infantries. I just think there's better classes. You're not hurting the team if you're using an engineer, especially if you're using it correctly. But I just don't see a huge use for it. I see a lot of recon. I don't really understand why. And when I say recon, I mean sniper rifle recon, bolt action, whatever. I understand you want a quick scope, you want a no scope, you want to be cool. Yeah, put that stuff on the shelf. There's no use for that here. You know, I don't want you on my team. I'm sorry. You know, you want to run recon and use a PDW or even like the 417 or even maybe a MK11, maybe something like that, SKS. Okay, I'll let you go. Again, as you're using it right, that's fine. But let's put the sniper rifles away. You know, come on, guys. You got other modes to use those for. You were definitely probably hurting the team because those are usually the guys that never drop the tugs or the beacons anyway. Assault medic is going to be king. Revives are huge. They're going to be very important. Ticket count drops very fast. Revives are big. Revives are often. I mean, you'll probably get more points from revives than you do for kills in these maps if you're playing, you know, right with your group. So if you want to get scores and unlock, definitely go assault medic. That's for sure. Eventually, I could see under barrels. You know, people start using those more. Smokes. You know, the grenades, even the shotguns. Definitely could see those. Support with ammo and suppression going to be good too. I'd probably say, you know, my ideal squad right now would be like 3 medics, or I could say like 2 medics. 1 assault with some kind of underbarrel variant, and then a support for ammo and grenades. That's what I'd roll with. If you want to throw in a recon there, just for kind of, you know, a good aggressive kind of recon with some tugs and things like that, I'll take that. That's no problem. Basically, I'm gonna favor the high rate of fire weapons, but just as much as the high rate of fire, and maybe even more so, I'm gonna favor the high, like the maneuverable weapons, the quick to move. There you go, Mandalore got my tags. He's very proud of that. Figured I'd leave that in for him. Sneaky little knife. I thought he got me on a panic knife. I was wrong. He got me legit. Good job. I favor, obviously, everybody's favoring the high rate of fire weapons, the AEKs, the F2000s, the MTARs, those, and obviously that's not a wrong way to go. But me, I think I'd rather have the maneuverability. And by, you know, what am I saying there? Bullpups. I like the idea of being able to move just as fast down sight as I do without it. So, you know, guns like like I spoke about, the MTAR, the AUG. I believe the F2000 is. I have to go and double check on these, but you know, if you're looking, you guys know, you can look it up on Battlelog. Give those guns a whirl, because that added movement of peeking corners and things like that, and the added hip fire bonus that you get with a bullpup weapon is going to be very nice in these maps. And I'm going to try to convince myself to fall in love with a bullpup weapon and see what I can do. Like I said, this map mode reminds me so much of Call of Duty, and specifically for myself, Black Ops. And that's not a bad thing. I enjoyed Black Ops. I did. Eventually, I think what's going to happen, you see everybody's just running around. It's a track meet right now. I think what's going to happen is you're going to see people start capping 2 flags and then kind of taking defensive positions and holding them off and bleeding people out. At least I think that's what's going to happen on the more competitive matches, when you have 2 decent teams against each other. Free-for-all pub matches, it's just always going to be a cluster, you know. and people are just going to run around with their heads cut off, and that's fine, whatever, that can be fun. With that said, you know, you take the 2 flags out of 3, defending can pay off. A couple times now, I forget what, I don't have the names of all the maps yet. Was it Zebra Tower, I think, where the 1 flag you can jump behind the bar? It's a great defensive spot, so if I watched my team had 2 flags, or even the 3rd, I would stay there. And I would take a position behind that bar. You have a couple good sight lines down the halls, and obviously you have the great sight line over the flag. I'd sit there, get a lot of picks, and I would basically anchor down that flag for my team. My team could go get other flags. So, you know, you see me here a lot of times. I try to get on the flags. Flags radius is very small. I'm trying to learn that too. Trying to learn exactly where I want to be, you know, capping things from. Basically, I'm going to be putting out like a, you know, my tips and 101. I guess you say that close quarters 101 video. Probably end of the week, maybe early next week. Once I've played it a lot and digested it, trying to give you the best pointers. Things like where to cap flags, what are hot spots, what line of sights to look for, what line of sights to avoid, those type of things. Maybe some routes. So I'm going to do those for each individual map. But I you know, obviously need to play the game to get my opinions first. The mini-map, it's pretty glitchy right now. Like, I know it only shows people on your own level, and I understand why they had to do that. But even that alone makes the mini-map very, I don't want to say worthless, but it's not worth much. It's not the tool it is in the other modes, in the other maps. And then on top of that, I believe it is fairly glitched that I've noticed some guys that are literally right next to me. I can see the enemy's not using a silencer, and he still doesn't appear. So it's a little weird, it's a little glitchy. Don't trust a mini-map. Especially if you look and you don't see anything, don't assume you're safe. Okay, use your own senses. Don't rely on the mini-map, which is goes against everything that everybody's always told you prior in the other maps. Is use a mini-map, use a mini-map. Optimization on these maps sucks. I get a lot of FPS drops. I get a lot of little lag spots. I seem to get stuck on a lot of things too. I've heard guys saying there's some invisible walls you can't shoot through. I haven't run into that yet. Seems again, despite having over 6 months to develop these 4 maps, that DICE has rushed the product out, but I guess you know, shame on me for being surprised. Here's my big concern, guys. You know, playing this for about an hour and a half now, I'm having a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong, I'm dying to jump back in. I'm going to jump back in as soon as this video is rendered. Replayability, it's a big concern for me. There's lack of strategy. It's a track meet. You're running around. They needed a strategic mode like a squad rush in here, even a squad deathmatch where you're kind of working a little more as a team. In this mode, you're not outthinking your opponent. You're just reacting to him, and that's fun, but it does wear out. Like I like the reason I fell in love with Battlefield is because I had to think as much as I had to twitch. I had to think as much as I had to react. And me being a guy, you know, more of a casual gamer, I've gotten more serious now. I could outthink people to make up for my lack of twitch skills, and I love that about Battlefield. And I don't see that much of that here. So I'm hoping they might introduce another game mode. They're probably not gonna. But we might, as players, might have to come with our own solutions to the problem. And that's my big concern. Like, in a month from now, are we still going to be playing this mode? I don't know. So, let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your feedback, your impressions. And I'm having a good time. You're going to see me in there. I'm going to be pretty much trying to play exclusively on my server. So, if you see me on there, jump on in. It's been a lot of fun, especially with the familiar faces. And the skill level is higher than your average server. So, that's always good to help you get better. Alright, guys. That's my video for today. I hope you're enjoying the DLC. And I will talk to you soon. Take care.